Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're all having an amazing weekend so far. There's a lot of things happening between the Disney executives, Kathleen Kennedy, and a lot of other projects that come in between that's really been causing a lot of drama back and forth over at Disney and Lucasfilm. Something that, of course, has been going on for several months right now. And also on the side note here, we have John and Dave really coming together to prepare for the marketing of the Ahsoka Tano series, which Disney views as the home run for Disney plus Star Wars. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So there's a lot of things happening with, all these different shows. We know that Mando Season 4 is going along pretty smoothly right now. By the way, that has zero Kathleen Kennedy input, thankfully. She's not going to be involved in any of the creative elements of that, nor will she be for Ahsoka Season 1 and 2, so those shall be very interesting. The only projects that she has control over are the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. Now, as we discussed just yesterday, there's a lot of things happening with Kathleen Kennedy right now, and the most recent thing has a lot to do with what she did without getting permission from Disney executives and exactly what it means for her future at Star Wars, of course, or at Lucasfilm in the very near future, and exactly what's happening with some of the projects. So that brings us to what's going on with Bob Iger, the board, the executives, and what Kathleen Kennedy most recently did. So let's tap right into all of this. Now, we know that Kathleen Kennedy has had a very big problem with George Lucas's philosophy, trying to undo everything that George set out to do in the prequels and the originals, and slowly stripping that all away. Alright, now with Kathleen Kennedy currently making very big decisions for her Acolyte and Skeleton Crew show, she recently made a couple of decisions that Disney executives are furious about right now. Kennedy recently authorized more reshoots for the Acolyte series without Disney's permission in order to elongate some of the other episodes and to fix some of the mistakes that she had made with Leslie on that show. The specifics about all of this is rooted to how Kathleen Kennedy is trying to fully establish more retcons against the prequel trilogy for scenes that will serve as a flash forward, where it takes place during the events of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, where parts of the prequels will get a couple of retcons provided by Kennedy and Leslie, something that George has had long pushed against. Disney is already very concerned over the addition of more retcons, and believe that Kennedy is overdoing them with the series, and has now given her an ultimatum that they are going to be limiting the marketing of the Acolyte show. Now let me just pause here quickly for one moment, is that the fact that she went out of her way to initiate a lot more reshoots without getting Disney's permission is a very big deal. It just goes to show you that she knows that Disney wants to no longer pour any more revenue into this thing, and she knew that, and she initiated reshoots anyway behind closed doors. This got her into a lot of trouble and has now caused a lot of the executives to give her an ultimatum. What is that ultimatum? We're going to be tapping into that in just 1 minute. But one thing about this that I think is very concerning is that these reshoots were specifically initiated to really kind of create more retcons toward the prequels and what George had created in those movies. And that's very concerning to a lot of fans, I think, for the Acolyte show, which, by the way, it's not going to be releasing until sometime in spring of 2024. It was initially set to be released by this December. That got delayed. Then it was February, that too got delayed, and now it's looking to be March and/or April of 2024. Moving on. So on to the next thing here. We obviously know that there's a lot of things going on back and forth, but they had already limited marketing by not showing the trailer to the public during Celebration. We're talking about social media, and only to attendees, and now they are making it official that they are dialing back on creating 3 trailers for the Acolyte and cutting them down to 1 trailer only with no teasers or major TV spots. So that just goes to show you that they may have lost full confidence in this show to the point where they don't want to pour a lot of money into the marketing because of how much they're losing over this series already. And look, I mean, for those of you that were at Celebration and you guys got to see the trailer, it was very underwhelming to me. I felt like it had elements in there that kind of felt like Star Wars, but mostly there's something about it that just seemed a little odd to me for, you know, the Star Wars franchise. Something just out of left field. I really can't put my finger on it. It was literally like mixing martial arts with Star Wars, and we're going to get into that in just a second, because there is a story behind that, and why Carrie-Anne Moss is one of the big stars in this show. So, let's tap into that. Now, additionally, Disney executives, including CEO Bob Iger, have been very underwhelmed with the recent test screenings for The Acolyte, and are now warning Kathleen Kennedy that if she does something like that again, that they are considering labeling the show as either a non-canon show, or delaying the show indefinitely until they get things right, more than midway through production. Even some executives that are loyal to Kathleen Kennedy are underwhelmed with her performance on The Acolyte show. They are not thrilled also over the fact that she ripped off parts of the Matrix series in The Acolyte, and this is too why she wanted to get Carrie-Anne Moss in the show. Now look, I get it, you know, maybe mixing martial arts with Star Wars works. We've heard reportedly that Ezra Bridger is going to use martial arts in the Acolyte series, and that's fine and okay and all, but this show, The Acolyte, the entire show itself, is going to basically be like a martial arts series as far as the style goes, what they are doing with the Force. We know that Kathleen Kennedy talked about this, that they're going to be using the Force in different ways, much like a lot of those karate movies out there. And we know that she copied a lot of elements from The Matrix, not just because it's martial arts, not just because Carrie-Anne Moss is in there, but the way the actual movie is going to be set up, or should I say the show is going to be set up, modeled after The Matrix movie, is exactly what it's going for. That style is what The Acolyte is going to be like. And we know that Leslie Headland is a big fan of The Matrix, and she wrote this show, so you can see all the connecting dots here. You know, you got Carrie-Anne Moss in there, who also was the lead in The Matrix as Trinity. So, you know, it really makes you wonder, where is this show really going? We know one thing about the series is that it has had a lot of reshoots and rewrites, delays and setbacks, a lot of toxic working environments between the cast and the crew. Not quite as bad as Skeleton Crew, but it was almost up there. And so I think it just, between that and the test screenings and exactly what's been going on over at Disney, I don't really have confidence in this show yet. And look, as much as I don't like Kathleen Kennedy, I really can't fully judge something until it comes out on Disney Plus and I get to see it from start to finish. And I think then and only then can I truly judge it. And let's just be honest and real here. But so far, my excitement level for this show is just at a 1 or a 2. I really don't feel much for this series, just because based on what Kathleen Kennedy has been doing, what she set out to do against George Lucas, is just enough to kind of tarnish the excitement. That's just me, though. I don't know about you guys. But overall, I would love to hear what each and every one of you guys have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
From night to moon we hear them moans again.